The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan held its ribbon-cutting ceremony today for the newly renovated Hiram E. Jackson Club.
Okay, the $2 million renovation adds some new attractions, including a music studio, an e-sports lounge, commercial kitchen, and more. CEO Sean Wilson says these new improvements will strengthen surrounding communities as well.
I was very hesitant about putting my name on this building because I know the brothers and sisters that came out of this building. First kid I met here mentored me until he left to go to Detroit Country Day. David Merritt, Rodney Gilbert. These were brothers who came out of this building, and that's what I see when I see my name on that wall. All of the people that have really poured into me, that supported me, that helped me when they saw more in me than I saw in myself.
In every district, there's someone who doesn't just develop buildings, they set the tone. In Paradise Valley, that voice belongs to Hiram E. Jackson. His story doesn't begin here. It starts with a family forced to leave the Deep South under threat, arriving in Detroit with little more than urgency and determination. That journey shaped him. His path led him to Real Times Media and ultimately right here to Paradise Valley, not as a spectator, as an architect and storyteller of its next chapter. For Hiram, Paradise Valley isn't a project. It's a continuation of decades of service and belief in Detroit's capacity to reinvent itself again and again. As this district rises, so does the legacy he's shaping.
Well, my mother and father are primarily from Thomasville, Georgia. It's a small town just on the border of northern Florida and southern Georgia. My father was working as a union organizer at a bakery factory, and was part of a unionization effort, and they didn't like that locally. The sheriff, who unfortunately was also a part of the Ku Klux Klan, gave him 24 hours to move out of town. And so 24 hours later, my father found himself at the Michigan train station here on Michigan Avenue. Found a job, and a year later, called my mom up north, and we actually ended up in Highland Park, Michigan.
That journey shaped him. Highland Park sharpened him. Cornell prepared him, but Detroit made him.
Well, I was born and raised in 1965 in Highland Park. Fortunately, I was able to, through passage of the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, I was able to attend Detroit Country Day High School. It gave me a great foundation to move away to college. Because of my father's experience as a union organizer, I thought that that's what I would be, a union organizer. Originally, I wanted to go to law school. That didn't work out, so I came home and worked at Ford Motor Company in industrial relations. I spent 3 years at Ford and then really had a calling to be an entrepreneur.
His path led him to Real Times Media and ultimately right here to Paradise Valley.
I started working with Real Times Media in 2006. And our office was in the Buell building. We also had an office here on Ledyard. The building was dated. Bathrooms didn't work. It was in the Cass corridor before the development. And so we had been looking for a way to kind of bring our staffs together and to build a more contemporary environment. And George Jackson, the CEO of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation at the time, was in the process of helping us find a new location. And he, quite frankly, recommended the building that we are in today, 1452 Randolph. We fell in love with the building. We purchased it in 2012, and we spent about 4 years redeveloping the building and modernizing it. And so, that's how we landed in Paradise Valley.
I mean, I think the great thing about what you see going on in the neighborhood is it's happening in stages. And so this was not an instance where we were all awarded these businesses in 2016. In 2017, it was fully built out and was finished. You will see probably for the next several years, probably 5 or 6 at least, the continued redevelopment. Because if you look at Paradise Valley, it's not just the properties around the park. You go out to Brush and you go down Madison and to Broadway and you see what Roger Bajmanian is doing over there. I mean, these projects are going to be going on for the next several years, and so there'll be a constant redevelopment, constant reinvestment in the neighborhood, and then the constant beautification and improvement of the public spaces will never stop. So I think you'll see a constant evolution for the positive for the next decade.
I think we know what we have to do, and we have the political will with the support of the mayor and city council. We have the tools to deploy to bring the kinds of developers into the mix who really want to see this grow up to the highest level of its potential we can possibly make it. And then we also have the kind of foresight, because we learn a lot by looking backwards. We want the world to see what this piece of real estate means to the overall culture, history, and heritage of the city of Detroit. And I think with what we're doing in partnership with our development community, in partnership with our city leadership, we can have this as a go-to place when you come to visit Detroit.
Just as the Chronicle did nearly a century ago when it first told the stories of the original neighborhood, the ability to document history as it's being made.
I expect that Paradise Valley is just going to be dope, right? Like, I expect that it's going to, in another few years, it is going to be that part of the downtown that is the destination part, like the part where everyone starts their night or everyone is looking to end their evening.
For Hiram, Paradise Valley isn't a project. It's a continuation of decades of service and belief in Detroit's capacity to reinvent itself again and again. As this district rises, so does the legacy he's shaping, a place where culture is protected, opportunity is intentional, and the future is built by the very people connected to its past.
Well, I would say to Detroiters that, we're trying to create a magical destination in downtown Detroit, built by Black people, but for everyone to enjoy. You can live, work, and play in Paradise Valley, or you can work and play and live in a neighborhood of your choice. I think it's going to be the kind of place where when you land in Detroit, the first place you want to go is to Paradise Valley. And you may not want to leave Paradise Valley during a given weekend. We want to create a neighborhood where Black people and Detroiters in general can be proud of, can brag about, can learn about the history of Detroit and the old Black Bottom in Paradise Valley.